Yeah, yeah, yeah. Huh? Yeah. How's it going, everyone? deceptibot9 here, and thank you as always for joining me on another episode of deceptibot9 Reviews. Now, before we get to the review, I'd like to ask, if you like what you see, go ahead and leave me a like. Plus, if you are not already subscribed, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well. It does really truly mean a lot to me. Plus, if you want to find me anywhere else on the internet, all of my other social links are in the description down below. Now, without further ado, I am super excited to be reviewing these two figures today. As you saw in the intro, they are, of course, the Jakks Pacific World of Nintendo Samus Aran and Breath of the Wild Link figures. I was super excited when I saw that these were released because Zelda and Metroid are two of my favorite Nintendo franchises. So of course I had to grab these two. I have not seen Zelda yet in my location because they only had Link and Samus, surprisingly. So as soon as I see Zelda, I'm going to grab her. But I want to look at these two with you guys today. So let's go ahead, head down to the review station and take a closer look at these two fellas. Alright, and here we are with a closer look at Samus and Link. Now, off the top, these two really surprised me. I've never gotten a Jakks Pacific figure before. I know they have a whole line of Mario figures, which now maybe I'll be getting into after I got these. And I know the World of Nintendo line has been running for a little while. Nothing about it ever captured my eye for some reason until these two came out. So I am absolutely loving these figures. I think they're a great value for the price. And I can't stop picking them up and posing them and messing around with them. So without further ado, let's take a closer look at Link first. All right, get a closer look here at the details on Link. He looks just like he does in Breath of the Wild, obviously, because that's what he is inspired from. You got nice looking eyes there. I love the way those eyes turned out. His hair is molded, of course, and it looks very nice. It swoops down around, and he's got his little ponytail in the back, molded all the way around in the back too. Plus, you can see his little Hylian ears. He's got his little earrings and everything going on there. So very nice on the head sculpt, and you can see the rest of the body as well. He's wearing his champion's tunic and everything. He comes with the soldier broadsword. So I love the blue color here. It looks very nice, of course, with a little white deco. The undershirt here, of course, and we get some more of that white detailed deco going on onto the sleeves. The arms, you of course get that undershirt detail. It's all sort of that white, wrinkly, or off-white rather, sort of wrinkle aesthetic there. Plus, we get the little design here on the forearm. Plus his hands, you can see he's got his little gloves on with his individually molded fingers. I was struggling with my words. And you can see the other side as well. He does have his gauntlet to cover up the sleeve there, but you can see the interior design of the sleeve is the same as on the other side, but there's a little bit of detail there on the forearm. Coming down to the rest of the tunic here, you see he's got a little shoulder sling harness here. He's got a bunch of belts on, which all have some nice molded detail in them. Of course, he's got the tunic part right here with some more detail, the off-white pants with a little bit more detail, and he's got his little boots down here with a little bit of paint for the yellow here on the top, and these are painted as well in the boot color. And quick look at the back. He's got a pouch. He's got two pouches, actually, so he is pouched up. And then we'll take a look here at the sword. His only accessory is the sword, but it looks nice. It is a nice little sword. It is made out of a soft-ish plastic, obviously, because it's a sword and we don't want it to hurt or stab anybody. But yeah, I think overall, Link looks great. He is a pretty great representation of how he appears in the game. And overall, he's a lot of fun. He looks great. I do wish he, of course, had his Master Sword and the Master Shield and everything, but I think as a standard Breath of the Wild Link, this looks fairly good. Again, if he had more accessories, I think he'd be, that much better, but he's already pretty dang good. So now that we've looked at him in detail, let's go ahead and cover the articulation on this guy, which totally surprised me how much articulation is packed into a figure of this size and of this price point. So up here on the head, he's got a ball joint, so it doesn't go as far as probably I would like, but it's at least, hey, a ball joint, and you can get him to look up that far, down that far. Can't really, it kind of tilts side to side, but it does swivel all the way around. So you do get some ball joint action out of there. Arms are on a swivel. They go all the way around. They go out that far, and they're on a ratchet. I don't know if you heard that. Ratchet there? Yeah, nice. They swivel here at the bicep with a full double elbow, which is very, very impressive. And his wrist swivels here all the way around, and it hinges as well. You can hinge that wrist out. His waist is on a ball joint. It's kind of weird on my copy. I don't know if it's like this on every copy. The first I twisted it, and I guess I twisted it a little too far, and it popped out. I don't know if that's going to happen again. I guess not. So it is on a ball joint, so you can actually kind of swivel it, pivot it all sorts of ways around. Oh, you heard that it was kind of coming out there. So be warned, it might pop out if you swivel it around certain ways too much, but if you pop it out, I guess, a little bit, you get a sort of huge sort of range of movement there, which is really nice. Legs are slightly hindered by the tunic, but they go that far forward. They're on ball joints, so they can go, more than that if they weren't blocked. Back, not really far at all, but they do go out to the side about that far. So, decent split. That's pretty good split there. We like that. Swivel here at the thighs. Double knee joint right there as well. Nothing on the boot, but the foot is on a dumbbell system. So there's not much in the way of up and down. There is a little bit, but obviously you can see it tilting is just crazy. And not just that, he's got a freaking toe joint. They put a toe joint on a $10 Link action figure. That is incredible. I love that. That's something that, every Spider-Man figure should have a toe joint, but for some reason they don't. But they can put a toe joint on a $10 Link, so that's pretty insane. All right. While we still got Link up here, I just want to throw up a couple comparisons really quick. Here he is with a fellow Smash Bros. Fighter. This is Mega Man, obviously. This is the Funko. I think it was a Funko figure from 4 or 5 years ago. He's my placeholder for Mega Man until the Jada Toys ones come out, which hopefully is sooner rather than later. And just for another video game comparison, I highly doubt this is actual scale if we put these two characters together, but here is McFarlane's Doomslayer, who I do have a review of with Link, so you can see. I mean, again, these are 4-inch figures, so I guess the height difference is about half almost. But again, these are also half the price, so it makes sense. And before we look at her individually, here is Samus side by side with Link. Now, with that said, let's get Link out of here and take a closer look at Samus. This is the one that I really, really wanted because she looks so cool. I just absolutely love the way this figure looks, and I am pleased to say she turned out just as well in person here. She looks so good. I love the helmet here. It looks really nice with the red all around, with the green visor, of course, and the little silver paint details for the pipes and the little mouthpiece there. Shoulder pauldrons look great as well, with the little hints of green coming through there and the brown lines, just like they are in the game. Plus, we get her little headlights. I don't know what to call the the chest lights there, I guess. In the game, though, they are painted all the way through to that section right there. You can see it even molded in there where that green should go, but I understand why on a figure of this size they're not going to replicate that paint job because it would scratch up and everything. Moving down to the arms, you see there's some molded detail on there for the armor, which looks great, plus a little accentuation of green. Other arm, of course, is her cannon arm, which is fully green, and it's got a little bit of other color details there, which look awesome. Overall, cannon looks super sick. Love the way that looks. Rest of the chest is just kind of a sort of neutral yellow color with some molded detail in it here and there. On the back, she does have her backpack, which looks great. Her little jetpack, I guess. Love the way that thing looks too. And you can see the legs. We got our little bits of green coming through here and the sort of yellow-orange duality there on the thigh, plus just the orange all the way down here on the shin pieces, plus a little bit of bottom shoe texture for the feet. So she looks absolutely great. I think she looks really good. Really pleased with how this Samus turned out. And of course, we have to mention her accessory is her morph ball, which is so much fun. It is just a ball. There's nothing else going on with it, but I mean, you can see it looks nice. Orange with the little red lines going through it and the green line in the middle. Very much like how her morph ball looks in all of her appearances. And as you saw in the intro, it can just freely roll around, does what a morph ball should do. Now, I'm going to cover articulation on Samus as well because it is different than Link, which is actually pretty cool. There are some differences here, but there is one thing that Link has that I really wish Samus had. I'll get that in a minute. So her helmet here is on a ball joint, although it is fairly limited just by the shape of the helmet and the shape of the torso. It can go up, not very far at all, go down just barely, and it cannot twist all the way around. It only goes side to side just like that. Arms, again, are on a swivel. They go all the way out, and they go all the way up that far. The pauldrons, as you can see, are also attached on a swivel, so they can move up and down to accommodate the shoulder moving. She does also have a slight butterfly joint, so you can get it going forward a little bit, which is really, really cool. I like that they included that, and it kind of helps with trying to get a signature, hand on the gun pose. If you want to try to replicate that, sort of iconic Samus pose, it helps to get her in that. She does also have a swivel here at the waist, which goes all the way around, and her arms. She does have double jointed arms, which can go incredibly far that way. But my favorite thing about them is they can also go all the way backwards. I don't know why I love this so much, but if you want to put her arms backwards, you certainly can do that as well. Her wrist here on this side swivels all the way around, and it hinges just like you would expect a regular wrist. Other arm, the cannon arm, is exactly the same, except for it doesn't have a wrist swivel, obviously, but it does go out with one bend and two bend here, so it's got double jointed elbow as well, and a double jointed backwards elbow there as well. Legs here are on ball joints, so they can go forward that far if you want to get them all the way that way. They go backward that far, but you can technically just swivel them all the way around because of the way they're built. So you can also kind of swivel them as well here. The ball joint, it counts as a swivel, and double jointed knees as well, which is great range here on her. And her ankles are on, I think, the same. No, they're on a swivel. They're not on the double ball joint or the dumbbell joint like Link's. You can see the little pin through there. So she can only tilt up and down. There's no swivel out of it, which is, I do wish she had a swivel there too, but it is what it is. The thing that I mentioned Link had that I wish Samus had was a bicep swivel. I do wish Samus had a bicep swivel, at least on this side, to help swivel the arm down to get into that sort of traditional Samus pose. But I think regardless, you can get her in enough poses that it looks great, and she is just so much fun. I have such a hard time putting these two figures down because they are so much fun. And really quickly, let's get some comparisons here with Samus. First, here's Mega Man and the Doomslayer. One fun thing to note here too with Samus is that if you are a Transformer collector and you have any blast effect pieces sitting around, this hole is roughly 5mm. It's not exact because you'll see the blast effect is a little loose, but if you wanted to, you could actually fit a Transformers blast effect piece in there, which I think is really neat. Alright, that's going to do it for my closer look at the world of Nintendo, Samus, and Link. So let's go ahead and take it back on up to me for my final thoughts. Alright, my final thoughts on Samus and Link here is I think they are a lot of fun and they are really great figures for only being $10. For being $10, these figures are packed with detail, they're packed with articulation. I wish they came with a little bit more accessories, but obviously they're going to keep that price point at $10. So I think with what they come with, they are totally fine. And I think if you're a fan of Metroid or The Legend of Zelda, and you're wanting some simple, easy, and cheap figures to add to your collection to represent these franchises that you love, definitely grab these. I found them at Walmart. I think that's the only place they've been popping up so far. And again, there is a Zelda as well. So I really hope Jakks keeps going with these style of figures because I will be all in for whatever else they put out. Alright guys, that's going to do it for my closer look at the Jakks Pacific World of Nintendo, Samus Aran, and Link figures. So go ahead and let me know your thoughts on these figures down below. Did you discover them recently just like I did, or have you known about Jakks for a while? Tell me all that stuff in the comments down below. And guys, if you made it to the end of the video, thank you so much. I do really truly appreciate it. As always, I've been your host, deceptibot9. Thank you as always for joining me, and I'll see you all later.